Hey guys, this is Chillstuff from MK Freaks. I just want to bring a quick video to basically summarise all the operators. Now I appreciate from when the game first came out we've had 4 new operators added from the Black Ice update and the new Dustline update, and we've had lots of balancing between all the operators as well. So basically I just want to do a quick video where I'm going to summarise every single operator into what kind of class, whether it be A, B or C class, that I would put them in. Now this is a completely personal opinion, so I would love to hear feedback on what you guys think, and I appreciate that in all honesty the balancing is really good in this game now, as in you can play with any operator and as long as you're good with him, have a good game. So we're going to start in the attackers and the A class. Okay, to start off the A class, I'm going to come in with Thermite. Now, I'm not going to do these operators in any particular order, but I would still probably put Thermite at the top. He is the most needed operator, in my personal opinion, in an attacking team. And the reason for that is his special is a Thermite breach charge, which essentially can breach through any reinforced wall, and he is the only character in the game that can do this. So if you have an enemy team that's defending one room that have reinforced all the walls, without Thermite, you essentially can't get in the room unless you go through doors or breaching hatches, which they've probably reinforced as well, or they're well defended. So Thermite is just needed throughout the game. You need to keep him safe on your team. Don't just run in, stay at the back and wait for the opportunity to blow it up. Like you just saw there, I blew open that hatch. His gun is great. He is needed in the team. Played well, he is a perfect asset and always needed. So the second operator I'm going to be putting in the Attacker's A class is Ashe. Now a lot of people may disagree with this, but I think Ashe is always needed in an attacking team. Now essentially her special is she has a grenade launcher which fires 2 breach charges from range, like you see here into this hatch, and you can also do it into doors, including castles doors, to break them down from range, which means you can't get shot in the feet, as well as you can use the breach charges on the ceilings and on the floors. So if you want to attack vertically, this is a fantastic character to do that with. As you see here, I'm about to breach the floor with breach charge, and then I can shoot someone from underneath, although I don't think there was anyone actually there. She also has 3 smoke grenades, which are an essential in some game modes like Hostage, and the 2 guns she has are very, very good, as most people will say. Very high damage, low recoil. Ashe is just one of those characters that played well. She is a perfect asset in the team and one of my personal favourites and always needed. Okay, so now we're moving on to the next one, Blackbeard. Now he has just come out in the new Dustline update, which I believe has only just come out for non-season pass holders, where you can buy him with Renown. His attachment, as you can see there, is a shield which goes on his rifle. Now this you can take on and off. When you have it on, it gives you a movement penalty. When it's off, it means you don't use the shield. Now, he's not very overpowered in the sense that in a 1v1 fight just down a corridor, people can still shoot your legs from your body and quite easily get a kill. But where this character comes into his own is when you're peeking through doors and windows. As you can see here, me trying to shoot this guy. You can see the bullet holes top right where the guys try to shoot me. And honestly, it's just absolutely brilliant because you've got the full power of an assault rifle. You don't have to switch to a pistol, but you can keep the shield there, and it's absolutely amazing. I haven't had a huge go on this character yet, but from what I've played so far, he's going to be an essential character in an attacking team, just because he adds that element of being able to attack from the windows and get plenty of kills, as you saw there. Now, the last operator I'm going to put in the A class for attackers is Blitz. Now, of all the shields, I feel like Blitz is the most useful, purely because that flash and then pistol combo is so useful. As you'll see here, I get a couple of kills with it. It's just an amazing technique to use. You can really help your team push up and take the front line and push into the objective to win the game. Now, I appreciate some of the other shields are just as good at this, but I personally think that Blitz is the best for it, just because that flash is irreplaceable. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the attackers that I would put in what I call B class. Now, these are operators that aren't necessarily needed in a team, but are very good operators to have, and depending on the map you're playing or the tactics that you're playing with your team, they're definitely, well, great operators to play. So this operator, Thatcher, he is a English operator. He has 3 grenades, which are EMP grenades, so they disable any electronics, which you see I throw one here, and I think it also actually takes out one of Black Ice cameras, which is good. Now, Thatcher is great teammate with Thermite to help get through the wall, as you saw there. It's a character that has a great gun, and when played well, is a great asset in a team. But there are other operators that can do Thatcher's job, and that's why I haven't put him in A class, because you can replace him with other operators and do the same job. The next operator I'm going to put in the B class is Montang. Now he has a shield which when you press your special deploys even further around you and makes your shield even bigger, so you can stand up fully and not get hit. Now this has just been updated in Dustline, so you now have wider panels at the side and a wider panel at the top, so that you can get into the objective and get more angles on your enemies. As you can see here, 2 enemies at different angles, they just can't hit you. Now although you can't shoot as you're doing that, you have to pull away your shield to shoot. It's a valuable asset to be able to walk in and tell your teammates where the enemies are, so they can then walk in and get the kills. And if you get the opportunity like I did, you can then take away your shield and shoot. But he's a great operator to use as long as he's played well in a team. So the next operator I'm going to talk about is IQ. Now I would have put IQ in the C class, but the reason why I haven't is because she's recently been updated in the Dustline update. Now where her gadget normally just sees little dots to say where electronic devices are, it now shows you exactly what electronic device you're looking at. So for example, Valkyrie, the new defense operator in Dustline, has those cheeky cameras which are a huge advantage to the defense team. But IQ, as you can see here, can see these cameras and shoot them. Now that is a great counter for the new Valkyrie character. So combined with IQ's AUG, which is one of the best guns in the game in my opinion, she is really a force to be reckoned with, and used in the right hands, in the right situations, IQ is definitely now moved up a class and is an operator that should now be picked more. So now I'm going to talk about Sledge. I've put him in the B class because he is such a useful operator. Essentially, using your big hammer, you can open up any doors, hatches or walls that haven't been reinforced, just like that, and then you and your team can see through them, shoot through them and vault through them to advance into the enemy territory. You can then also, if you do that around the defending room, you can really open it up and cause the defenders to panic. Now, as he's an English character, he has the L85A2 rifle, which is a really nice rifle to use. He's a great character. Once again, if you're not great with him, you're not great with him, but in the right hands, he's a good operator to use and always a worthy member of the team. Okay, so moving on to the attackers C class. Now these are operators that I feel need some more work done to them, some more balancing, or potentially are good operators but are very situational, as in you only need them at certain times, otherwise they're useless. So to start with that, I'm going to go with Fuse. Now he's a shield operator that has this awesome gadget which you can basically place on a door or window or a wall that's not been reinforced, fire grenades in there, and as you can see here, you can sometimes get a kill. Now that is really cool and really useful, but as a shield operator, it's not really effective to a shield. It's almost completely separate to a shield. And it's very rare you get kills, and you can't use them in hostage maps. And as an actual shield operator, he's not that great. Montang or Blitz are much better. So I feel like he needs something else to help him become more of a shield operator and more useful. Now the next operator I've put in the attackers C class is Twitch. Now this breaks my heart because I love playing Twitch. Her gun is amazing, and in the right hands she's a great operator. But the reason why I put her in the C class is because of her drone. Her drone is meant to be used to take out electronics in the room and also get a few cheeky kills on downed players or weak players that are sitting there in defense. Now the problem with her drone is her drone, just like any other drone, takes one shot to kill. Now that's a bad thing because people straight away, when they see the Twitch drone, will try and shoot it. And because the Twitch drone is about double the size of a normal drone, people will shoot it straight away. Now, if you get that Twitch drone killed way before you can do anything with it, you're essentially then a useless operator. You're just an operator with a gun, you've got no special. Now, as you can see here, if you're quite lucky, they don't manage to get shots on it, you can get a kill, but I think her drone needs to be buffed. Okay, I've also put Buck in the C class, and now he is the operator that we had given to us in the Black Ice update earlier in 2016, and he has since been updated so that his mini shotgun does a wider radius hold when you do it through walls, which means that you can vault through them a bit easier. But I still think it's a bit iffy, because at the end of the day I would rather take Sledge than Buck, and Sledge can do bigger holes quicker and also less noisy. His shotgun against people isn't as good as other shotguns. Overall, I just don't feel like there's a use for him. There's other operators that are better at shotguns, other operators that are better at opening walls. His guns aren't that great. I feel he needs some work still. Now last but not least, I'm putting Glaz in the C class. Now he is a sniper which basically brings nothing to the team. He is a great operator, and used in the right hands he can get lots of kills, but the problem is he's very situational. You have to use him in the right maps or he's basically useless. And like I said, he doesn't do anything for the team. Now maybe if his gun spotted enemies as he looked at them, that would be something that could be looked at in the future, but I feel like he needs some sort of buff to become more of a team player, and then he might be better than C class in my opinion. Okay, and now we're moving on to the defenders, starting in the A class with Smoke. Now he's an operator that I always like to see on my defending team. Now his special is 3 smoke grenades, which as you can see in a moment, creates a big plume of yellow smoke, which does a damage tick on the enemy. You very rarely get kills with it unless someone's really low health or already downed, but the reason why Smoke is so useful is in a situation like this, you always want to try and cut off exits and entrances to the defending zone to helpfully run down the time. So essentially, if you were the last person alive, as you do here, if you put this smoke on there, they can't run through that door now for a few seconds without taking a lot of health. So by doing that, it runs down the time, and I've seen so many situations where that's then won the round. On top of that, he's got a great gun, played in the right hands. He's an operator that I always want to see on the defensive team, and that's why he's in the A class. Okay, so now we're moving on to the next one in the A class of the defenders, and that's Jaeger. Now he is almost always used as a roamer, and that is where he's best placed. Now he actually has an assault rifle, which is the only defensive player to have an assault rifle, and his special is 3 active defense systems which stop grenades. So what most people do is put that in the actual room you're defending, which helps your teammates, and then you go out roaming with your assault rifle and get loads of kills. He moves fast, he moves quiet, he's just a fantastic operator to have. You always want this roamer on your team, and that's why he's in the EA class, because in my opinion he is the best roamer in the game and always will be when it comes to defenders. Now the next operator I'd put in the defenders A class is Rook. Now his special ability is you put that pack on the floor and each of your teammates goes up to it and can take armor, and then you can see next to your health 100 you've then got the full green armor. Now that just means that you're harder to kill by the enemies. Now that's quite simplistic, isn't it? At the end of the day, if you're harder to kill the enemies, that's going to make it overall harder for them to win the round. So that is why he is in the A class, he is essential. Now his gun, the MP5K, is actually a very good gun as well. Now because Rook is quite slow and quite loud, he is best played staying in the room and defending. And as you can see here, you can get quite a few kills with him. He's a great operator to use and definitely in the A class. Now the last operator that I've put in the Defenders A class is Valkyrie. Now she is the defending operator that has just been added in the Dustline update. Now she has 4 cameras, which you can see me throwing there, which are 360-degree cameras with this lovely blue outline. They move a lot faster than normal cameras, and they can be accessed by yourself and all your teammates. Now they can be thrown and they'll stick anywhere, including outside after the timer has gone. And this is such a valuable asset, as intel in this game is key. And as you can see here, I've got Ash. I spot Ash coming downstairs, and I go, right, I know she's coming downstairs, so I know exactly where she's going to come out. And this gives me an opportunity to get a kill. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I get the kill, and I play a bit of a game in cat and mouse with her. But this is why Valkyrie's cameras are amazing, and it's definitely why she's in the A class. You can see me playing this little game with Ash here. Now, her guns, she has a SMG, which is pretty good, but not amazing at long range. And you have a shotgun, which is very good. Now, I'm not playing with a shotgun, but that's because I'm not good with shotguns. She also has a C4, which is great. Valkyrie is definitely going to want to be played as a roamer, because she's quiet and she's fast, and using her cameras you're going to want to move around, play the map dynamically and use the cameras. And obviously when your teammates die, they can use the cameras for you, provided they're on a microphone, so you can get a lot of kills with her. She's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with, and you almost always want her on your team because those 4 extra cameras just give you such a better insight. And as you can see here, I actually won the round, thankfully, using Valkyrie. After that guy did a little spinny dance. Yeah, you definitely want to have her on the team, guys. Okay, so moving on to the Defenders B class, we're going to start with Mute. Now, Mute has 4 of these little devices which you pop on the floor, and that essentially jams any breach charges or drones, or essentially, it's like a little mini EMP jammer. So by putting it under doors, it means drones can't get in, and by putting it against reinforced walls, it means that Thermite can't use his deadly charges to get through them. So he's an operator that isn't necessarily needed because there's other ways to stop them coming through the reinforced walls, like using Bandit, but he's still a very useful character and played well with a C4, shotgun, or his submachine gun is a useful character to have and played well by some people. Now the next operator I've put in the B class is Doc. Now his special ability is a little pistol that you can get out and shoot your teammates when they are in a downed position, and that will get them up from a distance so you don't have to go walk and get them, and it will also bring them to 75 health rather than 50, which is an amazing asset to have. But the reason why I put them in B class and not A class is because, in all honesty, most of the time when someone's downed, they get killed before you can get to them. Now I was lucky enough to get this guy over there, hooray, but for the most part you can't get to someone before they die. His gun isn't amazing, so in all honesty, he's good in the B class. Okay, and now we come on to Capcan, who I've put in the B class. He has 3 tripwires which you can put on doors and windows, which if an enemy walks through them, it explodes and gets a direct kill, which is fantastic. Now originally he was an amazing operator when the game first came out because no one realised how to get rid of them or how to spot them, so you got lots of kills. Nowadays, everyone knows how to disable them and how to spot them, so he's not actually an amazing operator. But it does slow down your enemies because they have to take the time to get rid of the trap before then moving on. And because of that reason and running down the time, which is a valuable asset, I put in the B class. He's not useless, he's still a good operator to use, and in the right hand, still very deadly. The next operator I've put in the B class is Bandit. Now he has 3 electronic devices which you can use to electrocute walls, which stops people like Thermite breaking through or that can be disabled. You can also put them in barbed wires and shields, which if people walk through or climb over, they get electrocuted, which does a bit of damage and can also slow enemies down. Now, the reason why he's in B class, a bit like Capcan, is he is very useful, Bandit, and it will slow down the enemies. It won't necessarily get you kills, and people will most of the time know how to counter you, but because it slows down the enemies, and he's got a very good gun, he makes a good roamer, but also makes a good camper in the base. Overall, he's a good character, but not necessarily needed. Now the last operator I've put in the B class for the defenders is Frost. She is the defender that was added in the Black Ice update earlier this year. Now she has 3 of these bear traps which you put on the floor. If an enemy walks over them, they get put in a downed state, which you can then go and finish them off and get the kill if their teammates don't get them up first. Now the reason why I've put her in the B class is that she is a very good operator. Her shotgun, although it's been downgraded a little bit, the shotgun is still amazing at getting kills, and her welcome mats do still sometimes catch out people, but a lot of people know how to counter them, so it helps slow down the enemies, which is still good, but she's not necessary. Now finally, moving on to the Defender C class, I've put poor old Castle in the C class. He used to be my favourite operator. Now he has 3 metal doors which you can put instead of the wooden doors. These can't be shot through by enemies, and this used to be really good. Now the reason why I put him in the C class now is because most people now know that you can quite easily break this with a breach charge or hitting it 15 times. Unless someone's specifically looking under the door to shoot your feet, you can get through it anyway and doesn't cause you too much disturbance time-wise. So in all honesty, there's better characters to pick to cause more issues to the enemy team. Although his gun's quite good, I can't really see why nowadays you would pick Castle to actually get a strategic advantage against the other team. Now this is the operator that I feel like I'm going to get a lot of comments about. I've actually put Pulse in the C class. Now overall he's actually a very good operator. He has a heartbeat sensor which spots the heartbeats of your enemies, and you can use that to help you roam around the map and get kills. But the reason why I put him in C class is you've got roamers like Jaeger and Frost and Valkyrie, and I find that they are much better roamers than Pulse. I don't understand why you would choose Pulse over any of them. He's also, like I said with Glaz, he's a very selfish player. He doesn't bring anything to the defensive team, so unless you get loads of kills, which isn't guaranteed, you're essentially useless to the team. So there are better roamers to pick, and that's why he's in the C class. Now finally we're going to move on to Tychok. Now he is a fun operator to play and quite often picked by new people to the game because of his awesome big deployable gun. Now he has recently been buffed so that there are more places you can now place his gun, as previously there was only certain places you can place them, which is kind of silly, as well as he can set up the gun really quickly. Now he is awesome in situations like this where you can really stop people from coming down a corridor, but the reason why he's still in the C class is he's still so easy to counter, because if an enemy member of the team knows you're there, they can quite easily peek you from a distance and get a nice headshot on you. As you're about to see here, I get headshotted, you don't even see the person, but they still manage to get me. He's not that useful in a team game, he's got to stay in the C class for now. So there you have it, guys. There are all the operators reviewed for you and put into the retrospective class systems. Now, it's all my personal opinion that's been in this video, but I would love to get your comments of what you guys think and see if there's anything you would change. I will do a video in the future when the new operators are out and if there's any changes. Thanks, guys.